Hello, Annie, me old delicious.
Oh.
Beautiful as ever, I notice.
Mr. Sedgley, you in half a one.
Where's the scrumptious Sissy King, then, eh?
Oh, she just popped out to do a bit of shopping. She won't be long.
Oh, well, I'll have to call back for her then, won't I? Here, Miss Strawberry Delight, just take a little peep at what I've brought you today. Look at that, eh? A sweet little line in ladies' frilly nightwear. Look at that, double daring, eh? You know, you'd look right ravishing in one of them.
Oh, yeah, it's ever so lovely, Mr. Sedgley, but you see...
Now, Annie, stop stammering. You don't have to worry about your bill being too high. You know that now, don't you, eh?
Yes, I know, but...
Old Joe Sedgley's got his own ways of overcoming little problems like that, hasn't he, eh?
Yes,
all you've got to do, love, is to open up an entirely new account in a different name. It's simple, isn't it, lovely? I mean, you ain't going to miss another £0.50 a week, are you?
No, yes,
Don't you worry about my governor. He can't say that you're overloading your account now, can he? I mean, as far as he knows, this is an entirely new account, right?
Yes.
And it'll do me a bit of good, you know.
Yes,
all the extra commission for a new customer and all that. Now, what should we call you this time, eh? How about, I know, not Annie. How about Mrs. Fanny? Mrs. Fanny Broadstock, that's it. Mrs. Fanny Broadstock. 5 sets of frilly 90s at 50 bob a set. That's 12.5 quid, £2 deposit and £0.50 a week. How's that, eh, Annie? Just put your monica there, I mean Fanny.
But, Mr. Sedgley, I can't pay you this week. I'm broke.
Uh-huh.
My Fred's not working again, you see. But I'll make it up to you later. I will, honest.
Later, Mrs. Noons? Later's a long time, you know. It's too long for my liking.
But
Look,
I can't...
Bats won't get me a living. Money's all I'm interested in. I mean, look at all these accounts you're running now. Mrs. Janet Brown, Mrs. Renee Smith, Mrs. Alice Thursday, Mrs. Dinah Green. And they're all phony, ain't they?
Well, it don't matter, do it?
Don't matter? Are you joking? Don't matter?
Well, what's wrong with it?
What's wrong? It's an offence, that's what's wrong with it. Trading in different names. I've never heard of such a thing.
But, Mr. Sedgley, don't you remember? You said each time you could pretend you got another customer by me using other names, you got extra commission from your governor. So you asked me to do it.
Annie Nunes, I don't know how you can stand there and lie your head out like that. A woman of your age.
But, Mr.
But nothing. You're making a very serious allegation, you know.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
I know what you meant. And I'm disgusted that a woman I liked and trusted could think up such a diabolical line. Now, let me tell you something, Annie Nunes. Gaining credit by fraud is a criminal offence.
Criminal?
Yes, my governor ain't gonna like this, I can tell you.
He don't have to know, do he?
Oh, well, now, that all depends. I mean, he's had his eye on me again lately, not bringing in enough of the old lolly. He's told me so. Joe, he says, either you bring in the lolly or you're out on your hero. I know the geezer he's got in line for my round, Ginger. Hot as mustard. Now, the minute that Ginger starts working this round and finds out all about your phony names, oh, I wouldn't like to be in your shoes, my girl.
Honest, Mr. Sedgley, I'll pay you back somehow.
You'd better, Mrs. Nunes, and within the next 24 hours, if you know what's good for you. Mrs. Fanny Broadstock, indeed. You naughty, diabolical little woman, you. Oi, Bucket, here, come here. You know my assistant, Mr. Buckets, Mrs. Nunes?
Oh, yes, hello, Mr. Buckets.
Buckets, tell this wayward woman what our governor's like, will you?
Our governor?
Our governor back at the yard, you Charlie. What does he do to knockers?
Oh, yeah, he gets them sent to jail.
Exactly. Right, Buckets, away. Away.
Criminal.
Why, I hope they've sent my local paper.
Hmm? Oh, yes, the South Lambeth Clarion. Now, where did I see that?
Isn't that it there on the sofa?
Oh, yes, so it is. I knew I'd seen it before somewhere. Beats me what you see in that thing. It's nothing but gossip and scandal.
Oh, it's a nice, friendly little paper. Keeps me in touch with all the local gossip. I've been taking it for 25 years, you know, and it just doesn't change at all.
You do, though.
Eh?
Well, look at you.
I've got one. Oh, there's a smashing film on at the Tivoli this week. Random Harvest.
Random Harvest? About time they gathered that in, isn't it?
Eh?
Oh, I saw that when I was a boy.
But it's a lovely picture. I've seen it about 8 times. Always put me in mind of my Bert, that actor in it. Ronald Coleman. Oh, well, the same sort of bloke, really. Only 'cause Ronald was tall and slim and had traces of silver in his hair, and my Bert was short and dumpy, with the finest crop of red hair I've ever seen. Of course, he didn't talk quite so nice as Ronald.
Apart from that, they were as alike as two peas.
Oh, yes. They were both born under Aquarius, and they both had moustaches.
I see.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Don't believe what?
Here, just listen to this. Postman finds woman unconscious in Fuller Street. My old street. Postman, Oboko Moboko, thought something was wrong when he saw a cat clawing at a front door in Fuller Street. Mr. Moboko went to the cat and found, tied to its collar, a note saying, "Please look after me. My mistress is dead." Mr. Moboko entered the house and found Mrs. Annie Nunes unconscious, suffering from an overdose of sleeping tablets. Well, I never. Oh, poor old Annie.
Did you know her well?
Of course I did. Oh, still, she'll be all right in hospital. She'll be all right there. You know, Mr. Hunter, I'm losing touch with Fuller Street. Fancy a thing like that happening and me not knowing.
Well, I'll tell Bates to get the car.
Eh? Oh, yes, yes. Oh, thanks, dear. It hasn't changed a bit. Look, that's Sissy King's and Annie Nooney's got the top floor.
Right.
No, dear, no. I'll go in on my own, see? I think she'll talk easier.
Not much point in me coming, was there?
Oh, yes, I like to know you're there, but not to come in, see? You sit back and have a read of your paper. Hello, Sissy. Thought I'd pop in and see how you was getting on.
And it's Thursday. Thought it was me Tallyman.
On a Tuesday?
Oh, of course, Tuesday's now family allowance day, see? Come in, love.
Oh, it always used to be Friday nights when I lived down here. Old Bonzo, we always came Friday nights, never missed, not for all 20 years no more. What's happened?
Oh, Bonzo's dead, Alice. He was took something like about 6 months ago.
Dead? Well, I never heard. Oh, I am sorry. Oh, poor old Bonzo.
Now, God, no, I've had everything all nice for you.
Now, you wouldn't have bothered saying that in the old days, Sissy. Anyway, you got it done up lovely. Oh, that's new, isn't it?
Radiogram. It's got twin speakers. It picks up all the stations.
And what's this?
Cocktail cabinet. Of course, I'm paid for you.
Oh, you're doing a lot of entertaining then?
Well, no, not really.
Look, Sissy, I haven't got much time because I've left my friend Mr. Hunter out in the car. What I really come about was Annie Nunes.
Annie, well, she had a bit of an accident, that's all.
Well, according to the papers, she took an overdose of sleeping tablets. I mean, her of all people.
Oh, she's been on them for months. Doctor gave them to her. You see, she's got so much on her mind.
I can't believe it. She was always such a cheerful sort of woman.
Well, it's all this new Tallyman, Alice, this Sedgley bloke. He's the cause of all the trouble.
The Tallyman?
Yes. He's not like old Bonzo was. He ain't easy going to pet. Oh, my goodness, that sounds like him now. I'm expecting him.
Sissy! Come on, up this door. I know you're in. I ain't got all day long. Come on, up this door.
Oh, all right, Mr. Sedgley, I'm coming. I shall be, love. We don't put it first.
Now, don't fuss, dear. Look, I'll pop out and tell him you'll be along in a minute.
Sissy, you mustn't keep me hanging about like this, you know. I mean, I got other punters waiting for me to call and I bucket.
You tain't the right woman.
Here, ain't you Gladys Harker's eldest?
Look, whoever you are, he can't belong to no Harker because his name's Buckets.
No, from her first husband, Jim Bucket.
Look, we haven't come here to chat about no family trees. Where's Sissy King hiding herself?
Is it you? What's Tallyman? to Annie Nunes?
Look, I don't answer no questions like that. It's a confidential matter who I'm Tallyman to. Between me and my esteemed client. Now, why don't you hop it and fetch Sissy King?
It's all right, Mr. Sedgley. I'm in now. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'd better speak to Mummy, honestly. I couldn't find my purse.
Well, don't start making a habit of it, eh, will you? Well, I'll say one thing for you, love. You're a regular payer, always on time. More than some I can mention, you know. They're born bad payers, half of them.
Oh, well, I do try, Mr. Sedgley, but...
But nothing, Sissy. I'd like to show you my appreciation for your loyalty and regularity of paper buckets. Here, love, this is for you, a toothbrush.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Sedgley, but...
It's an electric toothbrush, you know. All the switched-on springers have got one. Good, eh?
Yes, I know, but I've got false teeth.
Yes? No, she's not here. Yes, I know. We got her out in the traffic. All right, I'll tell her.
Yes, Mr. Sedgley, but you know how much I already owe you, and these things ain't cheap. I've heard about them.
Excuse me interrupting, but...
If you want Alice, she's in there in the front room.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on here then, Sissy, eh? Rolls Royce outside and toffs inside. You come into some money or something?
No, I haven't. And I do wish you'd let up on me, Mr. Sedgley.
Look, don't you understand, Sissy, girl?
Oh, come in, Mr. Hunter.
Oh, the officer's been on the phone.
I want to listen to this.
Other people get thrown out of work, don't they?
I can't afford it.
Of course you can afford it. The entire commerce and system of this country is geared to allow you to afford the things you want, such as this unique AC/DC Super Deluxe all-mains multivolt toothbrush. Just think of it.
Oh, son, I must stop this.
No, let's hear it. I'm enjoying it.
But it's wicked what he's doing.
Yes, I know, but she doesn't have to keep the thing.
Beautiful teeth of yours in tip-top condition.
Oh, well,
now,
it
all you've got to
sounds
do,
all
love,
right, but
is
I
to
don't
sign
wanna-
your certificate of acknowledgement of receipt. It's as simple as all that. Here.
I know, but I can't.
Look,
no,
stop
I can't.
dithering, Sissy, otherwise I'll be forced to snatch it back, you know, and deny you of its obvious luxury. Here, sign there.
Oh, well. If it's a gift, I suppose I...
Everything, my love, that I supply you with is a gift. Your super salubrious vacuum cleaner, your Lollapalooza cocktail cabinet, your handsome 100-day clock, this beautiful electric toothbrush, they're all tacked onto the end of your endless account and you don't feel a thing. Nothing extra to pay. They're all free, lovely. Everything's a gift. So long, lovely. You lucky lady, you.
Oh, I'd like to give her a piece of my mind, the silly cat.
Well, don't be too hard on her. What did you buy?
It's electric.
Do you really need that?
Oh, well, I've signed for it, so I suppose I'll have to have it now.
Well, not necessarily. There's a new law. Gives you time to change your mind after signing.
Oh, Mr. Sedgley wouldn't like anything like that.
I bet he wouldn't. Do you know what you paid for that?
Oh, it'll be on the box somewhere.
He didn't tell you the price?
No, it's always on the box.
Here. Give it here. £4.15 for a blinking toothbrush. You must be out of your mind, Sissy King.
Oh, well, I've got to. Shall I get you some tea now?
Oh, forget the tea. What do you mean, you've got to?
Well, it's either that or his governor's going to find out.
But find out what?
Well, he tricks us into using false names, lots of different ones. Says it gets him extra commission.
That's a criminal offence.
I know, but we're the criminals, not him. Every now and then he makes an example of some of us and takes us to court. There's a whole load he's taken to court tomorrow for non-payment.
Yes, well, all they've got to do is tell the judge he made them buy the things.
But they don't, because then he could tell them about the false names. That's what did it with Annie Nunes, if you want to know. Only he went a bit too far with her.
Now, look, Sissy, I've seen cleverer blokes than him come unstuck, and by the time I've finished with Mr. Bloomin' Sedgley, he'll wish he'd never been born.
Very well, Mr. Snood. Case found, 10 shillings a week. That is all the cases for Snood, isn't it?
Yes, sir, until tomorrow.
Right, Snood. Off you go. What's the next?
What on earth are you doing?
Joseph Sedgley, credit trader, plaintiff number G5291 versus Mrs. Lillian Cecily Bassett of 15 Fuller Street, Southwest, defendant.
I swear the evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
The book in the right hand. No, the right hand. Now read from the card.
I swear to tell the truth.
That the evidence I shall give...
That the evidence I shall give...
No, I swear that the evidence I shall give...
I swear that the evidence I shall give...
shall be the truth...
shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me.
No, there's no so help me.
I'm sorry, Hugh.
All right, let's get on. I said, get on. How much does she owe?
£78, 10 shillings, sir.
What for?
Various items, sheets, blankets, imitation jewellery, and dress material.
Mr. Sedgley, I'm sure you want to tell me how all this came about.
Oh, I'm very glad you asked me that, sir. Well, sir, out of the sort of goodness of my heart, as it were, I allowed this said Mrs. Lillian Bassett to buy goods on extended credit, and all she tries to do is knock me.
Oh, very touching. But why, in the name of goodness, did you allow the defendant to work up such a debt?
Oh, well, sir, I'm a very weak man, you understand, sir, and though I tried as hard as I could to sort of stem this lady's extravagance, though I begged and pleaded with her, she took advantage of my benevolence and my soft-heartedness.
Please, Mr. Sedgley, we don't want to be moved to tears.
No, sir, I'm sorry, sir, but when I come to think of the amount of work I have to do to earn just a modicum of honest profit,
Yes,
I mean...
Mr. Sedgley, you have the court's fullest sympathy.
Thank you, sir, thank you.
Mrs. Bassett, you admit the debt, do you?
Yes.
Means?
Eh?
What do you earn?
About 9 quid.
Anything tucked away? A little capital, perhaps?
No, sir.
Right. Case found for the plaintiff. You will repay Mr. Sedgley at £4 per month. The clerk in the payments office will instruct you on this. Do you understand?
Yes.
Right. You may step down now. Next one, please.
Joseph Sedgley, credit trader, plaintiff number G5292 versus Mrs. Violet Little of 21 Fuller Street, Southwest, defendant.
What have you been up to?
Oh, I've made a mug of myself, haven't I, Alice?
You have. Does he mixed up with a tally bloke like that?
Well, you've got to have a Tallyman, ain't you? It's just my bad luck I picked on that there Sedgley.
Why on earth don't you buy from a legitimate hire purchase company instead of from people coming at the door?
Oh, well, you don't understand, Mr. Hunter. You see, tallymen like old Bonzo, well, they drops in for a cup of tea, they tell us all the local gossip, or they're like one of the family, it's right, isn't it? Of course, you've always got rotters like this one we've got here. But now, look, Leo, you're all pals of mine and you all work for Dunrich's, and he's not having a go at our lot if we can help it. Right, Mr. Hunter?
Right, Mrs. T.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Oh, come in, girls. This is Mr. Hunter, my business advisor. I don't think you all know him.
Well, I know Mr. Hunter. Hello, Mr. Hunter.
I know Mrs. Bassett, all right, and Mrs. King, we've met.
Hello, Mr.
And
Hunter.
this is Polly Johnson, Nancy Evans.
How
and
do you
that's
do?
Vi Little. How do you do?
Right, shall we sit down and get on with the business?
Okay.
Come on, don't be shy.
Well, perhaps... Well, shall we start with the bubbly first,
What?
Mr. Hunter?
Yes, come along, Mrs. Bassett. Help me with the glasses there. Here are the cabinet. Mrs. Thursday thought we all ought to have a celebration.
Well, we ain't got nothing to celebrate yet.
Well, getting you lot all together, coming out in the open about what you owe, that's something.
Hey, it'd be all right if Joe Sedgley could see us now.
I'd love to see his face.
Every time I hear that man's name, gives me heartburn.
Of course, she's been done far worse than any of the rest of us. He'd have sold her a grand piano if they could have got it to the front door.
Champagne for everyone.
Not all.
Lovely.
Hand the glasses round, Mrs. Bassett.
Okay,
And hurry up, Lil, because, we ought to get started, because Sir Charles will expect it soon. I don't want him walking in and spoiling everything. Well, happy days, girls.
Wait a minute, I haven't got mine
Hurry
yet.
up, and may the best man win.
Good luck, everybody.
Cheers. Here we go. Yeah, I haven't had any of this since our Arthur's second wedding. Do you remember, Lil?
No, not a thing after the first 2 hours.
Oh, it's lovely.
let's get down to business, Mr. Hunter.
Oh, well, you tell us what to do, Alice.
And we'll have a go at that Joe Sedgley any time.
Oh, steady on. It's not going to be as easy as that.
He ought to go to prison the way he carries on.
He's probably got the law on his side.
What? For getting us to buy things under false names?
But you fell forward, didn't you?
Yes, and would you all be willing to admit it in a court of law?
Oh, hey, that's like going up to Holloway and begging to be let in.
Not quite. Our solicitor advises that if you'd all be willing to state in a court of law that Sedgley tricked you into using false names, well, all you'd probably get would be a small fine.
Well, so there you are. How about it?
But what about the money we owe him?
Well, if you stick together, you'll probably get the debts cancelled and be able to return the goods he dumped on you.
Yes, like that toothbrush you bought, sis. Well, what about it?
Well, I don't mind, Alice.
Well, what about you, Polly?
Well, Al, we're not sure the court will only fine us.
Oh, fine.
Well, it's all very well for you, Alice. You've got money behind you, but I don't know what
I wouldn't dare. Think what my husband would say if he ever found out.
Oh, well, if that's how you feel.
Oh, Alice, don't say you're going to let us down now.
No, I'm not. I just wanted to find out how much fire you lot had got in you. Oh, well, till I'm the next star, dear Mr. Hunter.
Well, the other plan is that I should try to get a journalist friend of mine to write an article in one of the papers this weekend, telling the world the trick Sedgley gets up to.
What, using our own names?
No, not your name, his. Of course, may try to sue the newspaper, but first he'd have to prove it wasn't true.
Well, that ought to rock him.
Yeah.
The second part of this plan is that Dunwich Holdings will pay you all a long overdue, backdated bonus.
Oh, Alice! Yes. But first you've all got to pay up Sedgley what you owe. And promise not to get into no more debt.
Oh, you're a real good un, Mr. Hunter. You really are.
Thanks very much, but Miss Thursey's idea, really.
Oh, good old Alice.
Hey, but wait a minute. Isn't that putting money into his pocket? Why should we help him?
Well, as Mr. Hunter explained it to me, it's more like taking money out of his pocket, because you see, he's going to miss the interest on it.
And that's what'll really hurt him, losing the interest. Oh. If you pay all back in a lump sum, he's going to lose that extra money.
Yeah. Oh, well, come on then. What about a toast then, eh?
Champagne a little bit, I call you.
Well, now then, here's to Alice Thursday, the Churchill in our hour of need.
Alice Thursday. And Mr. Hunter, our Monty.
Come on, Ali. Sedgley, you've been off much more than you can chew. Come on, hold your hand out. We're all fed up with you. Call
The point is, Buckets, they've paid us up and they've blotted us out.
Yeah, well, maybe if you went to them proper, they'd do business with you again.
Yeah? Since when was you wearing a dog collar? No, to every one of them piles of £100, there ought to be an additional £49 interest, which we ain't never going to get. Now, the question is, how did them £9 a week chars rustle up all this money?
Yeah. Maybe Mrs. Thursday helped them.
Mrs. who?
You know, the char what got left 10 million nicker.
Why should she want to help them?
Well, 'cause she's a mate of theirs, or she was.
Yeah? You know, I think you're onto something, but not quite, because you still think people help each other. Whereas the truth is they only help themselves. No. I've got it. She's going to launch herself in the tallying business.
But she's worth a fortune.
So what, did you ever know a millionaire stop being greedy? Well, now, this is what we're going to do. Listen, we're going to fight back. It's going to be a question of David versus Goliath, and may the little man win. Now, first of all, I want you to phone our suppliers and ask them if we pay back a quarter of what we owe, will they let us have twice as many goods on credit? Later, you fathead. Now, when we got that settled, I'm going out knocking like I've never knocked before in districts where we ain't known. And that way we'll double our income.
Double, Mr. Sedgley?
Oh, activate your loper breads buckets, old son. Who says we're never going to pay for all this new gear? So you get me the goods and I'll finish the job.
Morning, Mrs. T.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Hunter. Breakfast almost ready.
Good. Hope they've sent all the papers. I ordered the lot. Ah, yes, here it is. This is the one I want.
Oh, perhaps there's a bit in by that to write a friend of yours.
I hope so. Yes, here it is. Come off it, Mr. Sedgley. Leave the housewives alone.
Oh, fancy.
Oh, yes, and he goes on to say, daughters or salesmen involves housewives in fraud. That should stir the pot up a bit.
Oh, that should blow the lid off. That should give us an appetite for breakfast.
So I wonder how he's enjoying his. Ah, glad you remembered to say there are some good tallymen.
Ah, there's good and bad of all sorts. Oh, that reminds me, me horoscope.
Yes?
All right, then. Where's Mrs. Alice Thursday?
What the...
In there. Where do you think you're going? Oh, I'm looking for Mrs. Alice Thursday, charwoman here or something.
I'm Mrs. Thursday.
And who the devil are you?
Are you the occupier, then?
I am. I'd like to know who you are.
Now, look, before you say one word, you left the street door open, let him in, and you forgot to close it and let me in. They gave me the right. Now, go on, Mr. Brandon.
Are you sure this is the right place? I mean, it's only
Of course, I'm sure. This is the gaffer, and that's Alice Thursday. Now, do your duty.
You can both get out of
Just
here.
a minute, Mr. Hunter. I'd like to know what all this is about.
Well, my name is Brandon, ma'am. I'm Chief Collector for Universal Debt Collectors Limited. Now, I've got here an order against you for a debt of £60, 5 and 9 to our client, Mr. Joseph Sedgley. Now, madam, I'm sure this is only an oversight, so if I could just have your cheque.
I'm not paying you nothing, Mr. Whatever your name is, nor him neither. I don't owe you nothing.
Well, I've got your signature on the original agreement.
My signature? Do you think I'd deal with him? I don't know what your game
If
is.
you're not out of here in 2 seconds, I'll call the police.
Here, you quite sure about that signature?
Of course, I'm sure. But, now you come to mention it, I never actually saw a sign, you know. I mean, when this Annie Muniz woman took the credit book, she went inside the house, and when she come back to the street door, the signature was on then.
Ah. What is about this Annie Muniz?
Simply that we may have made a mistake, ma'am. It's becoming pretty obvious that this Muniz woman ran up the debt in your name because she already owed too much in her own and forged your name to boot. Now, that's false pretenses.
All right, I'll pay the debt.
No, Mrs. T, wait till we've seen the solicitors.
But, Mr.
It's
Hunter...
best you know.
The gentleman's right, ma'am, and besides, in the light of this latest development, I'm not quite sure I can accept it from you. There, this Muniz woman may be up against a criminal offence, and that may involve the police. Now, we can't condone forgery, can we? Good day.
Here, you told me when I engaged you.
Silly old Annie.
Wish we'd gone to the solicitor, as I suggested.
Oh, I'd never have forgiven myself if Annie had to go to court.
I know. Well, let's hope it works.
Well, fingers crossed, Mr. Hunter.
Righto, chaps. Keep it swinging. Bed in at the back. Men's gear to the left and women's gear to the right. Keep moving out. Oh, take over the supervision, will you, Buckets? Madam, sir, to what do I owe this unexpected pleasure?
Well, there's a couple of things we'd like to settle.
Huh?
Tell him, Mr. Hunter.
Yes, well, first, you've got a load of credit books with false names in them.
Have I? Oh, thank you for telling me my business. And how do you know what sort of credit books I may have?
Well, have you or haven't you?
Look, if I've got in my possession evidence of criminal practices, then surely it's up to me to hand such evidence over to the police, not to you.
Won't get you anywhere.
Well, that'll be up to the magistrates, won't it? Now, what was the second thing you wanted to see me about? Huh?
Well, maybe we all got a bit worked up yesterday. So I've come here now to ask you to let me pay what you say I owe you. I mean, you don't really want to bring more trouble to Annie Muniz, do you?
That Annie Muniz woman ought to be set up as an example for the rest of society. You don't want me to cover up a crime, do you?
Oh, you're a fine one to talk about crime. If ever I saw a dirty...
Excuse me, madam. Are you accusing me of criminal practices?
Yes.
Mrs. T.
Well,
You know there are legal means whereby I can protect my good name against accusations of that sort? Still, just a slip of the tongue on your part, no doubt, eh?
What have you got against Annie Muniz?
yes, what have you got against Annie Muniz?
Nothing personal, madam. Just a question of setting an example from time to time, that's all.
You'd send her to prison to set an example?
Yes, sir. It's my duty as a citizen, sir.
Well, she's going to have the best lawyers and all that money can buy.
Oh, well, it should make a most interesting case. That, you know, I like to hear a well-argued defence. Often slip into the Old Bailey, you know, to while away an hour or two. See him sent down them dock steps to serve 5 or maybe 10 years. It's most entertaining.
There's no point in staying here, Mrs. T.
No, it makes me so angry I could knock your block off.
That's right, lads. Keep it going, boys. Keep it going. I'll tell you what, look, if you fill the shop within the hour, 6pence each for you.
And you mean although you offered him the money, he wouldn't take it?
Well, he talked a lot of rubbish about setting an example. If you ask me, he's downright vicious.
He wouldn't give us our books back, neither.
No, even though you've paid up in full.
That's if you have all paid. I mean, there's none of you still owing money under names what you haven't told me.
No, Alice, no, honest, we told you everything.
And a fat lot of good it's done us.
Oh, honestly, Sissy, for goodness sake, I'll rub a wet lettuce round your head sometimes. Alice is doing her best for us, ain't she? Yeah, well, come on then, come on. Tell us what we do next.
Well, so long as he's got those false credit books, he's got a hold on you. Or thinks he has. And he can threaten you all with a criminal prosecution because he's going to hold on to the evidence. So what I want you to do is to go back to my first plan. Take the solicitor's advice and sign these statements. They tell exactly the same story.
But that's asking for trouble, isn't it?
Yes, but I want to call his bluff. You see, these statements are exactly identical. Presented in court, of course, they'd quickly show who the villain of the piece was.
But, Mr. Hunter, couldn't you do the trick without them all going to the court?
That's the whole idea, Mrs. T. If I present Sedgley with these, he may not want it to go as far as court. He may, of course, decide to call my bluff. That's a chance we've got to take.
Oh, I'm not signing anything else. Never again.
Oh, shut up, Vi. Don't be such a misery. If we can't trust Alice and Mr. Hunter, who can we trust? Here, come on.
Good.
Give it here, then. I'll do mine.
Mrs. Bassett?
Right.
Oh, all right.
Mrs. Little?
It's going to be all right.
Oh.
So do I.
Go on, don't be shy.
All right.
One there for each of you.
B-A-double-S-E. Who hasn't got one? You all right? Here, wasn't there? Here we are.
Ho-ho! Buckets, old son. We're on our way to fame and fortune. £2,000 worth of goods and all down to Larkham's. That's about 5 times as much as I thought you'd get, you know. You're a very clever fella.
What's all them there, Mr. Sedgley, down there?
These here? Oh, these buckets is the accounts, or so-called, what I kept back after them Fuller Street birds shelled out my Thursday's cash.
Yeah, shouldn't you give them back or chuck them out or something?
Get out of it. This is what I can put the screws on with.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Sedgley, but, I mean, couldn't we make a profit like without all that? I mean, the way things have turned out, them women's never gonna deal with us again anyway.
Not now, Buckets, old son, but there's one thing you've got to learn in life, and that is never give up. I mean, them birds have got to buy stuff, haven't they, eh? And I'm the Tallyman for their district. That's Tallyman's rules, isn't it, eh? Aye, aye. Look out. How are you, sir? Got some very nice stuff in. Something you wanted?
I thought you might be interested to know that the ladies of Fuller Street have given me signed statements about using false names.
Oh, well, it always does my heart good, you know, to hear of villains repenting.
Yes, but you see, the statements all tell the same story. I'm just on my way to the police station. They should make very interesting reading for the CID there.
What, do you mean to say that they mention my name, then?
Oh, yes, Mr. Sedgley. Credit where credit books are due, if you see what I mean.
Oh.
They all describe exactly how you conned them into breaking the law.
I see. And you think they'll each get off with a small fine and I'll be with the eye job, eh?
Oh, I should imagine so. Well, I expect you've been in prison before. It won't exactly be a new experience for you. And, of course, there is this little matter of withholding the evidence. That in itself is a criminal offence.
Yes, well, what had you got in mind, then, eh?
I suppose we could do a swap. And statements for the credit books.
You must take me for a mug. You must take me for a right mug.
What?
You're bluffing, ain't you, mate? Come on, let's get down here.
Oh, they may want to keep you there, of course.
Yeah, you're trying to pull a fast one. Let's go down there. Come on, what are you waiting for? Let's get down there.
Well, all in good time. This was just in the nature of a warning, that's all.
I thought you got it all wrapped up.
Stamped and sealed, my friend. I shall be back.
Yeah? We'll make it about 100 years from today, eh? Oh, Lord. I wonder if he really was bluffing.
But why didn't you say all this when we had that meeting?
Because all the others was there.
Oh, honest, you lot. There'll never be any end to all this. Anyway, I'm glad you've told me now.
Excuse me.
Oh, Mr. Hunter. There, is it all right? Did you get the books?
No, not exactly.
Oh, didn't it work?
No. I think we got him worried.
Well, I'm worried. I thought you'd bring the books. I wasn't the only one, Alice. No, but you were the only one that let him have your family allowance book as security, wasn't you?
You gave him what?
Well, you know, they often ask for it. My family allowance book.
Did you get it back?
No. He used to draw the money and pay himself off.
Isn't that what Mrs. Thursday gave you the bonuses for, to pay him off?
Oh, it's no good, Mr. Hunter. They only told us half what they owe.
Yes, well, get your hat and coat, Mrs. T. I think this may be it. And no arguments. Come along, Mrs. Little. We shall need you, too. Isn't it a good job you've got so many children?
Oh!
78 double-sized sheets, 82 single sheets, 46 assorted candle wicks, 84 pillows. Cool, you and I've got a good load of old gear here to serve all them new punters you've found in other districts, Mr. Sedgley.
Yeah, well, we've got to keep the stocks up, Buckets, mate. You know, the way we're going on, we'll soon be in the super tax bracket. That's if we ever paid any income tax at all.
Yeah. You ain't thinking of going bankrupt again, are you?
Oh, that'd be telling, that would.
No, I asked, like, because Mr. Brandon of Universal Debt Collections was round here saying he wants payment for his services.
Listen, if the day ever comes round when I start paying back debt collectors, I want my head examined.
Yeah, well, he says he's going to make a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, forget it. Look, let's check over our assets again, eh? Oh! Ho, ho! Royalty again to grace our humble shop. Ha ha! Buckets, my man, bring out the best silver, will you? The Georgian teapot with the scrolled handle.
And you can take that silly smile off your face for a start.
Oh, it's like that, is it, eh, Mark? What is it, another one of your ultimatums? You had to come along and hold your tame toff's hand, did you? Look, why don't you two float off and take a gang of gawpers with you?
Because this shop happens to be mine. At least it will be by this time tomorrow.
Oh, you're buying up the old block, are you, Mark? Well, don't forget that I own a 14 years lease on this premises, and I've never been behind with the rent, and I've never done nothing illegal on these premises.
Nothing?
So put that in your pipe and smoke it, eh?
Nothing illegal. Ooh.
Well, yeah.
Come in,
What's he up to? You can't scare me, you know. What's he up to now, then, eh?
You too, officer.
I tell you can't scare me.
Now, will you get Mrs. Little's family allowance book, please? What? You heard. You're holding it against an outstanding debt.
Just a minute, mate. You can't start accusing me of doing a thing like that.
No, but I am accusing you.
But just a moment. I mean, she begged me to take it.
I
She
think
pleaded
you've
with
got
me.
your admission there, officer.
No, I mean, the circumstances to be taken into
Which
consideration.
the magistrates no doubt will do. Now get that family allowance book.
All right. What's your court martials? Oh, no. Let's do this thing right and proper. There you are, madam. I kept it in my safe on account of you having nowhere safe that you could keep it at home. Her old man drinks, you see, and he used to knock the book off now and again, so she asked me to keep it in a safe place for her, you see.
That's a lie if ever I heard one.
Well, naturally, the lady's not going to have a word said against her dear husband, is she? Well, am I under arrest or something?
Just about what you are, Sedgley.
Well, what'd you pop up for?
You stinking, rotten, undischarged bankrupt, you.
No, Mo.
Gets me crawling in people's back windows, breaking down front doors, climbing up drain pipes to get at his debtors, and all the time he's a debtor himself.
Oh, pity we couldn't have got together before, isn't it?
Well, I wasn't to know, ma'am. He's as dodgy as a coalman on an escalator.
What do you think he'll get for trading while undischarged?
You don't think I'm afraid of a basin full of porridge, do you? Buckets here will run the business. When I come back, I'll be laughing at all of you.
Oh, no, you won't, Sedgley. Because wherever you open up, you'll find a Dunwich House tally shop right next door. And selling things at the proper price, no knocking.
Capitalist. Money grabber. You can't win, you know. There's a touch of creation to the game. Tallyman ain't made, you know. They're born. They're 1 in a billion. You can't sweep them up on any old street. Where are you going to get the man to run your dreams, eh? When are you going to find a perfect Tallyman?
I'm sure that'll sound all very fine from the docks, actually.
Bucket, here. I always kept this little deed right to hand against the unforeseen vicissitudes of an ungrateful providence. Now, this allows you to run the business absolutely in my absence. Now, remember what I've taught you, son. Done 'em. Done 'em hard. Give no quarter and expect none. Play on their feelings. It's a crooked, dirty world, and I'm proud to be a fully paid-up member. Now,
Well, ma'am, looks like we'll both be witnesses in court, eh? Now, if you really are opening up Dunwich teleshops, May I present my card? Universal Debt Collections Limited. You're almost sure to get a few bad eggs.
Here's the door. Close it behind you.
Pardon, ma'am?
There's not a pin to choose between you. Clear out before I lose my temper.
Oh, just so, ma'am. Well, I'll just leave my card if I can be of service. Good day.
However did you get mixed up with a creature like that? I mean, you come of decent, hard-working parents.
Didn't stop him going to jail, though.
What's that? You've been inside?
Well, I thought everybody knew I had to see. And nobody would give me a job afterwards,
Oh,
so I
is that
went...
why you work for him?
Yes, well, he treated me proper at first. You know, sort of matey-like. Anyway, if you want to take over this shop, there's a lease to see to.
Oh, well, don't worry about that. I'll buy it, and you can get everything sorted up for Sedgley.
And then there's all the stock in here.
How much do you think that's worth?
Oh, a couple of thousand at least.
All right, I'll have it checked and valued, and Mrs. Thursday will pay you off.
Oh, no, not me. Nor Joe Sedgley either. No, it's all belonging to Southside warehouses, you see. It's all their money, really.
You're not like him a bit, really, are you? You could have just made a couple of £1,000 for yourself. I like that. Here, how would you like to come and work for me?
Now, wait a minute, Mrs. T.
No,
You don't know...
I mean it. How would you like to come and work for me?
Work for you?
Yes, run this place.
You mean it? You want me to work for you?
Well, I mean, you know the ropes, and we don't want no greasy old ropes like Sedgley used to tie round people's throats.
No, I wouldn't work like that. He never did business no good in the long run.
You come and be my manager.
Oh, thank you very, very much, Mrs.
That's
Thursday.
all right. You get together with Mr. Hunter, and he'll fix it all up.
Yes, well, first of all, I'd like to see the ledger and check the accounts.
Well, do you fancy some of that?
Sorry, Alice, can't afford it.
Oh, go on, help yourself. Eh? Well, measure out as much as you like, go on. Here, you lot, it's on the house.
Lovely material.
What do you fancy?